Ahoy, everyone, and welcome to the Zoom room where we get to meet interesting people from all over the world and for the next few weeks from a galaxy far, far away. So, with no further ado, let me introduce you to, well, if the bar at Mos Eisley had an MC, it would be my next guest, Mark Daniel. Welcome.
Hey, David. Well, first of all, sorry. Ahoy, David. Thank you very much. That means so much to put me in a cantina, even though it's filled with villainy. I'll fit right in. I'm a scoundrel myself. So
There you
thank
go.
you.
Well, there you go. Well, listen, tell us first and foremost what we should expect on Saturday, October 15th at Seattle's iconic Mopop Museum in Seattle. It's a very special event for a very special nonprofit museum, Rancho Obi-Wan. What's your part in all of this?
Oh man, I'm so honored to be a part of this. I will be hosting the evening at Mopop in Seattle. This is exciting because this is the first Rancho Obi-Wan fundraiser gala outside of Petaluma, California. So I think you can expect Star Wars fans. I think you can expect 501st people being proud of their garrisons. I think you can expect surprises. You can expect me. And then you can expect to see some very interesting Star Wars memorabilia, things you can bid on, things you never even knew existed, and things you know existed that you never thought you would see with your own eyes. Not to mention I've never been to the Mopop, but that's exciting too, just seeing different things from pop culture. So I think it's going to be a very immersive evening, a very fun, fan-driven evening, and some surprises and great music and food and fun and just that Star Wars fandom coming together, and I think we need that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have been to Mopop, and I think it's just a cool museum the way it looks. The collection is awesome. And I think it may be the only museum you can take a monorail into. So I think that's
Oh,
pretty cool myself.
that's awesome. I'm used to monorails because I'm here in Florida, so I like riding the monorail through the Contemporary Resort. So I'll feel right at home on that monorail.
There you go. So a little bit of background. You have become known as Mr. Star Wars Celebration. How and
Yes.
when did that happen?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've had a 27-year career doing some of the most awesome fan activations in the Star Wars galaxy. And before I even get into Celebration, it was a way into it from I did the first ever Star Wars weekends back in 1997. And this was a big fan event. Everybody coming to back then it was Disney MGM Studios, right? They had the Star Tours attraction, and they made this weekend where a lot of the celebrities would show up. This was the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the special edition release of The Empire Strikes Back. So I started doing that back in 1997, like I said, all the way until I did the final Star Wars weekends, which I was the understudy for James Arnold Taylor, who hosted the event. And from there was a director by the name of Mark Renfro. And Star Wars Celebration, this is Celebration 5, was coming to Orlando. And they wanted more of a party atmosphere. And this was an idea that Mark Renfro had. The main stage, he wanted some entertainment there before the panels. If you've never been to Celebration, they usually have like 3 stages, but there is a big stage called the Celebration stage, which is the main event stage. And Mark wanted a party atmosphere for Celebration 5. It was very exciting. This had George Lucas was going to be there. This was the first time Mark Hamill was going to appear in America at Celebration. So he wanted a lot of energy. So he put me with a DJ called DJ Elliott, and I was the warm-up host for the beginning of the panels. And so I started just interacting with the fans. DJ Elliott would play music, and then I would come out and talk to the fans. And just have a blast getting them hyped up for each one of the panels inside the main room. And I've been doing that for the past 7 Star Wars celebrations, and it's been so much fun. I've created content, I've made friends for life, and it's just been so exciting. And then, of course, in Celebration, I got to see and meet some of the amazing celebrities and see some of the greatest teasers ever.
So, who have you met in the Star Wars universe that is, how shall we put it, celestially celebrity?
Oh my goodness. Well, the first person I met was I met George Lucas. And it's a great story because I met his wife, which I didn't know. I didn't know it was his wife. I met her, and she was at the panel it was called the main event. This is where Jon Stewart interviewed George Lucas. So This interview happens, and his wife is backstage, but I didn't know he was married to her. And I said hi to her and introduced myself because backstage you're talking to everybody. And so the crew got together and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna get one shot with George Lucas, so we need everybody to gather on. He doesn't do this usually. Take the picture really quick, and he can leave, and we'll get a group picture." So as I'm speaking to her, Melody, I believe her name is,
Yep.
I told her, they called me over like, "Mark, come on over." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to run over and take a picture with George Lucas." And she goes, "Oh, I'll get you a picture." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." I don't know what that means. So I run over and take the photo. Everybody takes the photo. George is standing in the middle. And then he starts to leave, and he walks over to Melody. And Melody says, "Hey, George, wait a minute. This is Mark, and he would like to take a picture with you." And he comes. I stand next to him, and she takes my camera, my phone, and we take a picture. And I'm speechless because the whole room is looking at me like, Mark gets a picture by himself. And this was right after Red Tails. He funded Red Tails himself, and I was
Right.
so proud and excited that he did this film about the Tuskegee Airmen. It's just a story that needed to be told, and the way he told it was amazing.
Amazing, amazing movie.
Yeah.
I rewatched it just the other night.
Oh my goodness, it is, isn't it? The stories are fantastic, and I had the pleasure of doing I narrated a documentary about the Tuskegee Airmen, and it was cool to see some of the people I met kind of morphed into different characters in the film, and that was amazing for me to watch. But I wanted to thank him for it, and all I could say was, George, thank you for everything, and I wasn't specific, and I really wanted to thank him for it. So I was kind of tongue tied, but I met George Lucas. A lot because I am at the main stage. I get to meet a lot of the celebrities. Mark Hamill. I've got to work with Warwick Davis, James Arnold Taylor, Jay Lagaya. The list goes on. But most importantly, I've also met people in Leland Chee, Matt Martin from Story Group. I've become friends with Leland Chee, Doug Chang. I've become friends with him. David Collins. All these people that work for Lucasfilm that create what we love. I'm just so impressed that these people, that's their day job, is to make this magic that we all consume and just love.
Yeah, it really is an amazing group of people. I was lucky enough to work with creator, as I believe they nicknamed him, George Lucas, for a
Yeah,
number of
yes, the
years. I
creator.
was
I
the
heard. Yeah.
spokesperson on the museum projects, and of course, got to work and meet Melody. And so, certainly, the force is strong with Melody. You had just the right person to get a personal photo with George. But
Indeed.
I have thought the same thing over the years. They're just the nicest darn group of people in the world. What is it about Star Wars that seems to generate such camaraderie, not only among the staff and the actors, but among the fans?
I think what it is, I think it's escapism. I think it's a fun adventure. I think the story they tell, even though they have laser swords and Sith lords and ships that can travel in hyperspace and these different creatures, the story is just human, and it's like it's a struggle that we all can associate with, and we all root for the hero, and we also love the villains. The villains have their stories as well. They're not just these dominating characters that have no reason for why they're villains. They all have these stories, and I think that's what connects us, right? It's the stories and the characters. One thing I read is that Admiral Akbar, everybody loves Admiral Akbar, and I think when
Yes.
they designed him, there's a story on, and you might know it better than me. They wanted him to be cuter because he was a very ugly Mon Cala, Mon Cala, but they said, you know what? Not every hero is handsome, and just that, all the different looks and the different character types and the sizes and different things like that, we just relate. There's so many things you can relate to. I think it really brings the fandom together of just watching these underdogs struggle for
Yeah.
victory.
So let's do it together. The general's most famous line.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
trap.
trap.
Well, listen, in our last few minutes, talk to me about what you're most excited about for this coming weekend, October 5th, up in Seattle. I mean, there's some things that are going to be announced. We can't talk about that yet, but we're
Yeah.
hoping people tune in.
Mhm.
But it's not just about the fans. It's really about the people that create these things that are going to be auctioned off that night. I mean, my goodness, the art of Ralph McQuarrie, some
Yeah.
incredible wines from Skywalker Vineyards, some things that you will not be able to get anywhere else except October 5th at Mopop.
hmm I think what most excited about is people coming together and, like I said, share in something that we all love. And like I also the people that create these things. I saw your interview with Steve Sansweet, which was amazing, by the way, and he showed some pieces that were just fantastic. And I've been to Rancho Obi-Wan. He invited me to the gala for the first time in 2017 just to hang out as a kind of a pseudo celebrity. DJ Elliott and I were there just meeting fans, and they were very happy to see us. So that was a lot of fun. But just walking around and seeing the collection, and I think being able to see it in person also. I think the big thing is coming back after the pandemic. I think really feeling like we're back to it again. We're coming together, we're seeing something, we're sharing a shared experience because everything used to be like we're doing now on Zoom. Everything was that screen. So to come back and see these things in person and hear the story of how it was made and why it was made, I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, Mark, it's a great pleasure to meet you by Zoom,
Uh-huh.
but soon we're going to be in the same room, and it won't be a Zoom room. And we're
Right.
looking very forward to meeting you. Any closing thoughts for our fans and viewers out there?
First of all, thank you for having me in the Zoom room. But really, for the fans, just it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. There's a lot of content out there, and I think some people are noisy, but I really love all the Star Wars content out there, and I appreciate it. And people work really hard to bring that content to us, and we want new things, and things are new and different, and I really enjoy it. So I think we need a celebration of Star Wars, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing not only the creative aspect of Star Wars, but the personal, what you would do to be creative, what I would do to be creative, just everybody coming around. And I'm really excited about some of the announcements that will be made and any of the celebrities that may be there.
Well, I will see you on the monorail heading into Mopop, and you sounds like you're a monorail sort of guy.
Yeah.
So we've been speaking with Mark Daniel, MC for the incredible benefit for the nonprofit Rancho Obi-Wan on October 5th in Seattle. And listen, I'm going to put the link at the end of this video. Get your tickets because you do not want to miss this special
No.
night. Ahoy, and may the force be with you.